This is Sad Boy Radio.
I tell them be the change you seek. Hone your power through the hour. Take pride in living it meek.
Alright, everybody. Welcome back. This is episode 2 of Sad Boy Radio. I'm Matt, your host. This is my boy Arigon. Today we're going to be talking about, growing up, ethnic backgrounds, and pretty much cultural roots and how that, really identifies with our music interests and the type of music that, my boy Arigon actually likes to create. So let's just hop right into it, right? Growing up, there was a lot of cultural influence with parents, right? I mean, I don't know for you, but for me, I had that early morning experience on Saturday mornings, cleaning the house, everybody's waking up to the salsa music, bro. So, I mean, if you want to touch a little bit on that for you, what that was kind of like.
Shit, growing up for me, it was a lot of different music around me. It wasn't just like the salsa, because for me, I'm like really young in my family. So my brother's 8 years older than me, my sister's 10 years older than me, and my mom was 40 when she had me. So I came late. So I had all the salsa music from my parents, from like my mom, my dad. I had like Jibaro music from fucking Puerto Rico and shit. But then at the same time, I had like the whole hip hop influence from my brother, and he also listened to like alternative and a lot of weird stuff. And my sister was like same thing, salsa, but she was also like into the freestyle back in the day, and like just R&B, shit like that. Then also growing up, like I had cousins listening to pop, so it was like I just had a lot of fucking different music influences, but definitely like the salsa was like the main one. Like that Saturday morning cleaning, you got the radio going, it's fucking, so it's 10 o'clock in the morning, all you hear is Hector Lavoe in the back, and you hear my mom fucking washing dishes and shit. Levantate.
Hey, the minute you heard that music, bro, you knew damn well you were about to start doing some cleaning for the day. And, all that music really has impacted, at least me, in a different way, because that was, like, straight what my parents would listen to.
Yeah.
And then, rock music. So, like, Guns N' Roses, what else, Metallica, all that different type of rock music. And it wasn't ever really my favorite. My favorite type of music was really what you'd kind of hear on the radio back then, which was Chris Brown, Usher, all that R&B music. I didn't really get to explore that side of music until I was a little older, and my cousin would show me it. So that's when I got into Usher, Confessions, You Got It Bad. Man, those are straight bangers. And hey, man, that's where the sad boy music started. Definitely listening to all that type of music just put me in a mindset where, it's a real shit that you're talking about your feelings with, right? I know you got a couple projects where that actually is your main focus. Your first project, right?
Yeah, so I have a project I dropped like 2-3 years ago now called What It Feel Like. And that, man, like, for me, that music, it was just like pretty much just venting and just getting shit off my chest, just fucking writing shit out, and just putting it out there, just like, because I had always been doing music for a while, but that was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do it right now. And then I started seeing that like certain songs would resonate with people, and certain songs would like spark conversations with people I've known for years but never talked to in a certain way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just like, yeah, it's just certain songs that it encapsulates a moment, it just encapsulates, and it sparks the conversation, and then from there it's like, I don't know, you get growth from it, you know?
For sure.
Like, do you remember like the first song that might have resonated with you in your life?
The first song, man. Nah, bro. I couldn't tell you the first song that resonated with me, like that I truly felt like, damn, this song speaks to me. I don't think I really thought too deep into the music like that until I was a little older, probably high school. And that's when I started listening to a lot of Spanish music. But I don't even, understand it completely.
Yeah.
I understand most of it, so sometimes you gotta do that little Google search, completely understand, and being able to understand what artists are saying, such as Prince Royce, Romeo Santos. I'm a big fan of bachata because of the concepts that they do cover, which is kind of lost love, really, losing somebody that was significant to you, mainly romantic, but they do cover other aspects of it. What about for you?
Man, the first song that like resonated with me for real was, and again I had the benefit of having some older siblings and shit, so they were putting me onto music that was way beyond my years. But it was DMX. I don't know if y'all ever heard Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. It's one of his albums he dropped. But there's a song called Ready to Meet Him at the end. And he's literally like having a conversation with God. And I don't know why, like, bro, I was 7, I just got into my sister's fucking whip. My brother put that shit on and it was just like, damn, what the he's talking to God. Because at that time I was just going to like church with my family and shit.
For real.
But I was like, whoa, like he's really like having a conversation, but like to God but with himself. And for some reason that like resonated with me. And at the time my parents didn't want us listening to hip hop and shit. They thought it was all bad and shit, you know, typical Hispanic vibe. But I was actually like at 7 years old, like arguing with my dad, like, are you listening to what he's saying? Like he's talking to God, like, you know what I mean? Like little shit like that. And it's funny, but then like also just having that salsa aspect to it, like cultural. I was using Spanish music back in the day to learn Spanish. Like I would listen to it and ask my parents like what it meant, and then it didn't resonate with me until I was older and was able to like really understand the emotion behind it that these people were saying, putting into it. Like you listen to Hector Lavoe, you listen to some of these guys and they're like Gilberto Santa Rosa, and they're rapping in Spanish over a salsa beat. And coincidentally, I never put this together till recently, but like salsa was invented in New York in the 70s. And what else was also invented in New York in the 70s? Like fucking hip hop. So I don't know. For me, that kind of played into like the whole blend of music that I kind of do now with the Spanglish.
For real. And that Spanglish album, man, that's a banger, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate
You actually got a little bit of recognition for that one, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I got a couple views. Yeah, Fat Joe actually recognized he put one of the songs on his playlist that he put out for independent artists. So yeah, people resonated with it. I feel like it's a summer vibe, so I'm gonna try to keep coming back with the Spanglish for the summer. But I definitely got some more conscious rap on the way.
Let's hear Alter Ego, bro. You gotta start an Alter Ego right there, bro. Your little Slim Shady.
Arigon? We'll see. I mean, people are fucking with it as long as people are fucking with it, and as long as you feel something, that's the thing. Like I'm saying, like I love music that resonates. You know what I mean? So
Facts.
Yeah.
So I mean, for you, you know, let's talk about a little bit of that religious root for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned going to church with your family. How big was that for you growing up?
To be honest, man, it was routine. Like we'd go. I was raised Catholic, so like we'd go Sunday for an hour, come back home. Then eventually got to an age where I just had to go to like catechism and shit, like because you gotta do like communion, confirmation, all that stuff. And you know, it was kind of just going with the motions until I kind of got like older. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I felt like, not to get religious, but I knew God, but it wasn't like how I know God now. Because like it's kind of like a song. You know what I mean? Like you'll hear a song when you're younger, you'll learn the lyrics. You know, but it won't hit you till you're older and you have an experience or something like that. And then it's like, damn, this song's hitting right now. Like that's how church was for me. But as far as now, like I stopped going to like church. I'm more so like spiritual, but I believe in God and shit. Read the Bible and have a personal connection with Him. So I kind of speak about that in my music too.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you know, personally, even for me, I was raised to believe that you don't need to go to a specific place to worship. You know, God is with you all the time. So
Right.
definitely keeping that in mind. And everybody's, you know, religious experience is different. Everybody's life is different. So it's interesting to see how somebody's roots impacts them so much, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because for you grew up in a religious household that I don't know if they pushed it on you or, you know, if it was just natural for you, but obviously it still holds a special place in your heart. For me, they just told me, hey, God's real. He's with you all the time, and I still keep that in my heart. I still believe that no matter what, right? Moving away from, you know, religion, you know, let's really talk about the music, church music. You know, have you seen that influence you in any way?
Nah. I mean, yes and no. As far as like the music that I make, like I don't consider my music church music. I would kind of reference like the DMX, because the church music, it's uplifting, and it's like real spiritual in the moment and stuff. But I feel like it doesn't give you the full conversation at times. So it's like I kind of feel like the balance of both I kind of like, not to talk just completely about my style, but like the balance of both. It kind of it's a conversation. Like you said, God is with you all the time. So it's like you gotta talk to him like that's your boy. The same way I'm talking to you right now. The same way. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, God, what the fuck? Like, and you can say that. Like, I'm sorry, some people might find it blasphemous, but if you know your relationship with him, like, you should talk to him like that's your boy. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I done been through some shit. Like, what's going on right now? What am I supposed to be learning? But at the end of the day, you know, you gotta take ownership for your own shit. You can't solve the problems for you.
Yeah. And, nothing's going to be put in your way that you can't really handle, There's definitely a lot of shit that will happen to you throughout life, no matter what. And, at the end of the day, you're just going to get through it. You got to keep pushing through it. And,
exactly. You're in a certain place for a certain reason. That certain experience is meant to build you. If it's a hard experience, it's like, you should ask yourself, what am I supposed to be learning right now? Why is life throwing me this curveball? If it's the same thing again, what the fuck did I do wrong to fucking be here? So at the end of the day, as long as you're accountable, you just keep pushing, don't give up.
For real. So, really the thing that's so crazy about it is there's so many artists that go through so many different experiences. One that I can think of off the top of my head, Eminem. He's gone through so much with addiction, the way he was raised, his background, and the way it just impacts him, right? Another artist I can think of is Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran came to America with nothing at 16, was sleeping on people's couches, hopping from couch to couch, just making music, doing what he loved, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that a love and passion for music can grow into something so much bigger just because of the way, you're raised, kind of. Your parents instill in you so many characteristics, so many qualities that develop into something of their own, really. For me, my parents just told me, work hard, go to school, and do whatever you want. What was that like for you?
Yeah, same deal, man. And it's weird because it's like my brother and sister, I feel like they were older than me, so like they had a different life than me, I would say. Like they were raised in, like, Humboldt Park. Like I mean I was raised in Hermosa too, so it was kind of, not far right there. But like my parents weren't in the positions that they were. Yeah. You know what I mean? So they definitely had like a harder life. But we all got the same talks, we all got the same motivation, but crowds and environment play into everything. But for me, like I learned from their mistakes a lot. I felt like since being the youngest one there, I was like just watching and seeing shit. And I learned how to move, you know what I mean? So it's like just doing good in school was easy, you know what I mean? And my parents were like, yeah, just keep pushing, just grow, go to college, get a good job, you know what I mean? And that was basically the push. And then, you do all that, and there's like, all right, what else?
Yeah, they gave you the blueprint, essentially.
Yeah.
And I could definitely see that, growing up kind of different from your siblings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have my brother, and then I have my two sisters. My youngest sister is about 13 years old, and it's not like a huge age gap, but definitely the type of attention you're receiving from your parents, what your parents are doing at that time. My mom stayed home and took care of me and my two other siblings for like 15 years, went back to school. She went back to work when my youngest sister was probably in kindergarten. So, I grew up with my mom at home. For her, she just kind of was going to school and saw my mom when she got home, and my mom had that added stress, so you know how that can be, right?
But even bringing bring that back to music, like the whole bringing in music and shit. It's like I was never really like alone, because I always had music. You know what I mean? Like I'd catch myself in my kitchen like listening to like random CDs, like fucking Mark Anthony, fucking sitting here listening to rappers like you said, Eminem, fucking Fat Joe, fucking Big Pun, all these older guys, because like the shit that my family was listening to.
Yeah.
But and then later on, you kind of relate to that shit. You know what I mean?
It really does kind of, relate, because there's so many people that do grow up, not necessarily with a big family presence. Not saying that was the case, but, some people only have music to rely on. They only have art, any type of art, whether it be drawing, painting, photography. A lot of people kind of drown themselves in that way they can, I don't necessarily think it's to get good at first. I don't think anybody really focuses on, man, I'm gonna get really good at this and I'm gonna do this, this, and that, like from the beginning. It kind of starts off as, just a passion, something that you really love to do, and your work just keeps getting better and better, and people tell you, hey, you should do that.
Yeah, it's all a process. It's all about working up the courage to take that first step. Like you're saying, you're never gonna be good at anything, but how do you learn from something? Like, how do you learn without doing it? You know what I mean? From other people's experiences, from having conversations, from reading books. Okay, cool, you could get some knowledge of it, I guess, but in the depths of it, like, how do you actually do it? You gotta just fucking do it. You know what I mean? And you grow from there. You get people's feedback, and you see what you liked about it, you see what they like about it, or whatever the fuck, and keep building from there.
You gotta experience something for yourself before you can really, really, really make your own opinion, to be honest. And that really goes with music too, because there's so many people that will say, hey, punk music's whack, R&B music's whack, rap music is whack, but there's always gonna be a middle ground. Something that you can listen to with one person that you can't listen to with someone else, but when you're all together, you kind of just listen to the same thing. That's kind of like rap for a lot of people.
Yeah.
When your friends hop in the car, you mainly play, I would say, rap for the most part. I play a lot of Spanish music though, cause
I play whatever the fuck's on my shuffle. My iPod's random as hell, or my iPhone's random as hell.
Bro, for me, the first like real Spanish music I started listening to myself was Extreme, bro. Extreme really brought out like that bachata side. Te extraño, that straight banger, bro, straight banger. And then I started exploring more into Aventura, and man, Aventura, Romeo Santos. That man really has evolved with his music.
For me, it's hard to say like what really got me into like listening to myself, cause like I felt like it was just all around me. I knew songs, I was singing songs from when I was younger and shit, so I like always knew them. But like the shit that started hitting was like all the salsa, you know what I mean? Like Gilberto Santa Rosa, fucking Hector Lavoe, obviously Mark Anthony, like just little shit. You start listening, it's like, damn, these guys are they're going, you know what I mean? It's a vibe. And then you start dancing. I was like in a dance group back in the day too, so it was a bunch of salsa.
You were breakdancing or what?
Nah, I was in a salsa group, salsa and hip hop. Yeah.
Hey, most hip hop dancers start out as break dancers, bro.
There's a lot of people that started out dancing, but it's all in the artistry, music. It all relates, cause it's like, I DJ'd a little bit. I tried to play with beats a little bit. Like I used to play the trumpet back in the day, so it's like it all kind of relates to it. The funniest thing about music is that it takes you to like a specific place. Like a song could come on and you like remember a certain night, or a fucking, like a hook that'll just come on and it's just like, oh shit, I remember I was at this party with this person, blah blah. I wonder how they're doing.
Yeah, man, it's honestly crazy to think that music really does create a memory, no matter where you were, no matter what time it was. The first time you listen to a song, it's just kind of ingrained in you from that moment on. And that memory can always be replaced by another one based on, the type of experience you had. Maybe it was someone you were with, maybe it was an event, but really, when you have a specific song tied to a specific person, man, those hit. Yeah. Going back to the topic, right? Going back to growing up and how the way you're raised really does impact your music, right? You kind of touched on, religious background, your family, how they impacted you. So really, that's how you got into rap. What made you want to translate that into Spanish, kind of?
A lot of different things. I just wanted to try something new. But also, like I said, like this Spanish music is ingrained in me, like growing up with all that shit. So it was just, I wanted to give something to my family that they could listen to. Like my parents, they rock my music. Like there's certain songs that they know certain words to or whatever, but they don't really get the message that I be putting out there, or like really understand. They just know it sounds good and they give me credit for it. So I just wanted to get something to them, my aunts and uncles, to be like, oh, okay, aquí vamos, okay. You know what I mean? Something for them to jam to. That was mainly it. And shit, it was something hot for the summer, so.
Is there like one specific Spanish song that you could point out and say, man, that really hits home?
Yeah. Um, I would say I don't want to talk about how it hits home, but like Perdóname by Gilberto Santa Rosa, and like specifically the live version where he performs at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
Like that, it's like a 7.5 minute song, but it's only 7.5 minutes because he goes off at the end just freestyling. Like it's not a part of the original song, and the shit that he's saying, like everything just comes down and just a clave, like a hand clap, and he's just going and flowing. It's just like, damn, this is raw. And you hear the shit he's saying. He's talking about like it's easier to ask that, it's easier to ask forgiveness than it is to ask permission. So he's saying, I'm sorry, perdóname, and I feel like everybody could kind of relate to it. So there's a lot of instances where I related to the song, and it was just I found myself jamming out. And it's like, damn, like I'm about to do this. And also El Cantante too. Like if you listen to El Cantante from Hector Lavoe, like just living the life, going through the motions, just trying to put out, learn from my fruits of my labor. Like I'm gonna just show you the fruits of my labor. I can't show you the long nights, like little shit like that. His perspective, it's very personable music,
Yeah. And you use that song, bro.
Yeah. I sampled it.
That shit was raw. Yeah. But you're right with that, man. There's so many things that you're gonna go through in life that, whether they're good or bad, asking for forgiveness definitely is easier than asking for permission.
In any instance.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, my bad.
And man, you really do look back sometimes and think, I don't know, I guess in specific instances you can say, damn, I was an asshole back then, or I was an asshole in that moment. It's kind of like you wish you could go back, but at the end of the day, those are moments that really make you who you are.
Of course.
And all these little moments that do shape you, whether they're with friends, somebody that you just once knew, it's crazy how much of an impact it can really have on you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like for me, I write a lot about like my friends. I like not about them, but just certain instances, certain conversations that we've touched on that linger with me, and it's like those topics I just know will resonate. You know what I mean?
You got any examples for us?
Like one is like a conversation to like one person, but I feel like it's meant for a lot of people, and it's just like, I tell them, be the change you seek. Hone your power through the hour, take pride in living it meek. Inherit the earth, inherently worth more than you'll ever see. Nah, said the world is mine, so everything I see is me. Everything is everything, miseducation, but it's free. Common sense like Lennon, I'm sitting here trying to let it be. Product of where I'm at, always at right where I need to be. Correlation of time and thought, about to set my spirit free. And it's like, for me, it's just like, man, be the change you seek. I feel like there's a lot of people that'll be stuck on complaining about a situation or complaining about certain circumstances or certain things, and it's like, be the change. You be the one to do something different. If you don't go that far, you'll spark the change for the people that are coming behind you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just go, let that shit linger, and like, you know what I mean? Just go with it. But at the end of the day, you are always a product of your environment, so you have to spend that time and thought to put all this shit together in order to grow from it. Because if you don't, that's the whole thing where it's like, you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you're coming from. You know what I mean? And that's real in so many instances. It's like not necessarily knowing history or knowing like, you know what I mean, like your like it's more like your family background, how you're in specific environment.
And you got to surround yourself with people that are good for you. You are the company you keep, in a sense. And surrounding yourself with people who have the same goals as you, who support everything that you're gonna do, right? Mm-hmm. Even if there's criticism, as long as it's constructive criticism and they're not telling you, hey man, just give up, like, cut what you're doing because it's not working out for you. At the end of the day, it's something that is important to you, right? And you need people who are gonna consistently say, hey, I got you, man. I'll post this for you. Yeah, and so many people will say that they're too busy. But I don't necessarily believe that, right? Because you're never too busy for the people that matter in your life. You may not have the time to always do something for them. You may not have the time to, see them that day. But you're going to go out of your way and say, hey, I can't do it today. I'm going to see you this day. Or we can do something this week, right? Mm-hmm. Because those are the people that are important to you. You make time for anything that's important to you. Work you make time for, and you might not like work, but it's important. You make time to go see your girl. That's important to you. So making time for your friends is equally as important. Someone else had told me, you guys don't like to hang out with me anymore. Uh, you know, you're not gonna be the same person, and sometimes you need to force yourself to grow. You need to separate yourself, and if that means being lonely, um, you gotta be lonely. You gotta cut off the people that are just gonna drag you down, and eventually they'll either catch up or it's peace out.
Yeah, that's true. And it's like one quote that always resonates with me is like I don't even know where I heard it. I don't want to take credit for it, but it's like if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And it's like, yeah, you don't always if you're not learning from your friends, if you're not growing from each other, because not necessarily the support system for you also. It's like you do need to make sure that you're around people that you're learning from. Like even if you have nothing to contribute to the conversation, we don't all have the same circumstances. We can't all talk about the same moves we're making. But damn it, if you ain't got shit to say, you better make sure your ears open and have some people around you that are saying some good shit. You know what I mean? Let me hear what moves you're making. Let me learn. You know what I mean? And it's like some people will be self-deprecative about it and be like, oh, I'm lonely, and cut themselves off and be like, damn, I ain't got nothing to contribute, and feel bad. But it's like you got to take that moment to be like, nah, okay, cool. I got to grow. I got to be motivated. So it's, I don't know. People are different though.
Yeah, I mean, everybody gets lost in the shuffle once in a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I recently had a conversation with my friend where, everybody feels lost. Maybe the extent is different. Maybe somebody is really down and they don't know where to go. But not everybody has life figured out. They don't know what their next move is 100% of the time because life just comes at you fast. It's totally unexpected. I can definitely say this year, 100%, a lot of unexpected things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for the good and the bad, right? Because there's so much in life. I believe that it evens out, right? There's so much good that can happen and so much bad that can happen. And a lot of people will take the bad and just let it weigh them down. But, you got to think about the good things that are going on. And
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
And it's like life's a game, man. Like I said this in one of my songs. I didn't release it, but it was just like I picture life like a game of spades, you know what I mean, with God as my partner. You know what I mean? I don't know who I'm up against. I don't know what cards they got in their hand. You know what I mean? I'm just hoping that he cuts when I need him.
Yeah.
I'm going to play my best hand. I'm going to see what cards are dealt, and I'm going to do me. You know what I mean? And that's how you got to do it. You got to keep playing the game. Take what books you can. Just don't renege. If you need renege, you lose books. You lose good days.
Yeah, that's definitely a really good way to look at it. And, hey, just got to keep on pushing and not let anything bring you down in a sense. But, man, I really appreciate you coming on today, man. That's going to be it for Sad Boy Radio, episode 2. If you like this video, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And check out my boy Arigon's tracks.
Arigon. Follow me at Arigon121 on Instagram.
Staring out my window while I'm picturing a better day. Rain clouds singing rain, rain, go away. Feel like I know I should be doing some other day, but the energy I ain't feeling telling me no today.
This is Sad Boy Radio.